The sound of pounding fists on the cabin door tore through the silence of the mountain morning like a shotgun blast. I had been sipping black coffee on the porch, watching fog curl off the evergreens, when the heavy thud echoed again and a shrill voice screamed, "Open up. You don't belong here." I didn't need to look to know who it was. Karen, a self-proclaimed queen of the HOA, stood on the gravel drive in her gaudy tracksuit, one hand on her hip, the other clutching a phone as if it were a badge of authority. Her bulk blocked the morning sun, and her sneer was so wide I swore she'd practiced it in the mirror. I rose slowly, coffee cup steady in my hand. "This is my family's cabin," I said, my voice calm but laced with steel. "It stood here for nearly 100 years. Karen scoffed, flipping her hair like a defiant teenager. "Not anymore. The HOA voted, and your fire hazard shack is coming down. You've been warned enough times. Today I called the cops, and they'll drag you out if I have to watch it myself." She waved her phone like a trophy, lips curling into a smirk. "You should have left quietly. Now you'll leave in cuffs." Minutes later, the wail of sirens shattered the mountain stillness. 2 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing, gravel spitting under their tires. Karen practically skipped to greet them, puffing out her chest. "That's him. He's squatting in community property. Arrest him before he sets the whole ridge on fire." She jabbed a finger at me as though her word alone was law. The officers looked uncertain but cautious, already reaching toward their belts. I stood tall, heart steady. She thought she had cornered me. She thought her call to 911 was the end of my story. But she didn't know the truth. "Officers," I began evenly, "before you act on her words, you should know who you're standing in front of." One of them narrowed his eyes. "And who's that supposed to be?" I pulled a leather folder from the table on the porch and flipped it open. Inside was a deed, notarized and sealed, stamped with the county registrar's mark. Behind it, a letter with an official gold emblem. "My name is Samuel Walker," I said, "and not only do I own this cabin, I am the registered land grant holder of Summit County itself. Every acre, every ridge, every drop of water you see is under my stewardship. That includes this cabin, this land, and the road you drove in on." The silence was electric. Karen's jaw dropped, her hand still outstretched mid-accusation, frozen like a broken clock. The officers glanced at the documents, then at me, then back at her. "What's this about?" One of them muttered, clearly rattled. Karen tried to regain ground, sputtering. "He's lying. He's a con man. The HOA owns this property. We voted." Her voice grew shriller with each word, as if sheer volume could rewrite reality. That was when the twist came. From the tree line, a black SUV rolled in, dust curling behind it. Out stepped Commissioner Harris, the county executive himself, a tall man with a weathered face who carried his authority like a second skin. He walked straight toward us, eyes locked on Karen. "I heard we had a problem," he said coolly. "And that problem seems to be you." He took the deed from my hand and held it up to the officers. "This document is real. Samuel Walker is not just the landowner's the trustee of the original county land charter, granted before this HOA ever existed. If he says he has the right to be here, he has the right to be here." Karen turned purple, spitting words like venom. "This is outrageous. You can't side with him. We're the community. We make the rules. He's just one man." Harris's eyes were cold steel. "You don't make rules that override state law, federal law, or property charters. And you sure as hell don't weaponize 911 to enforce your delusions. The officers straightened, their doubt evaporating into shame. One of them even muttered an apology to me. Karen wasn't finished. She lunged forward, grabbing my arm, screaming, "You're not taking this from me. I built this community. I am this community." But her grip was weak compared to the force of her undoing. The officers pulled her back, cuffs snapping onto her wrists as her shrill protests filled the morning air. "You can't do this. I'm the president. I'm the law here." But no one listened. Not anymore. In the weeks that followed, the scandal tore through the county like wildfire. News outlets picked up the story. HOA president arrested after false 911 call against landowner who holds county charter. People who had feared her for years finally spoke up. Their stories of fines, harassment, and intimidation spilling out in public forums. What had once been whispered behind closed doors now stood blazing in headlines. Karen had built her power on fear. And when fear broke, her empire collapsed. At the next county council meeting, I stood before a packed hall. Neighbors filled every seat, their faces etched with both anger and hope. I spoke plainly, my voice carrying steady. This land was never hers to control. It belongs to those who respect it, who honor it, who live not by intimidation but by community. Karen used fear to bend people. But fear is not law. Fear is not justice. Fear is not freedom. And tonight, fear ends. The hall erupted in cheers, people rising to their feet, the weight of years lifting like fog in morning sun. Karen's downfall was bitter and complete. She lost her seat, her reputation, even her home when auditors discovered she had siphoned HOA dues into personal accounts. Fraud charges mounted. She had called the cops on me thinking she could erase me with a single phone call. Instead, she erased herself. The cabin still stands, stronger than ever, its walls humming with memory and resilience. I rebuilt the porch, carved new beams, and hung a wooden plaque above the door. This county endures. Neighbors come often, not to bow to bylaws, but to share meals, stories, laughter. The land has become more than my night has become ours again, free from the shadow of a tyrant. And sometimes, when the wind moves through the pines just right, I hear my grandfather's voice whisper, "Hold the line. Protect what matters." That's all I did. And it was enough. Now I leave it to you as I write to confront her, to push back even when she weaponized the police against me. Or should I have stayed quiet and let her continue ruling unchecked? Share your thoughts. Because silence builds tyrants, but voices build justice.